everybody's plugin sounds different. So you can have a different sound from anybody if you are using other plugins, other companies' plugins like Lexicon, like Wave plugs. You could do a lot with that. Even for your vocalists who use autotune, and I do suggest using autotune. Any artist who is really trying to sing, use autotune or some sort of pitch correction. The reason I say that's the standard. Nobody sings raw anymore. Nobody wants to hear your janky vocals. Nobody wants to hear your imperfections. I'm sorry to say, like, they want to hear your imperfections, but they don't want to hear your pitch imperfections. They want to hear perfect pitch. They want to hear it sound perfectly pitched, just like with an instrument, just like with a piano. Sorry, I'm ranting. All right, but this is my pet peeve. I don't like using autotune or say death to autotune or blah 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 blah. But you don't say that to tuning a piano or tuning a bass guitar or tuning a regular guitar, a lead guitar. No, you tune it, and you tune it. Make sure it's tuned perfectly. If it's not tuned perfectly, it's gonna sound janky. The same thing with your voice. Nobody has perfect pitch. So you have to use a pitch correction to get a perfect pitch. Now, I've heard some vocalists who have really good pitch. They can sing their tails off, and it almost sounds like they're on top of the notes. But if you just use autotune in a very subtle way, you don't have to use it in a T-Pain way. You don't have to do it like that. But if you use it very subtle, then you can really get the most out of your vocals, and it will sound amazing. Rant over. I'm sorry. I had to let that out. All right. So now that I got that off my chest and I've ranted and raved, I'm actually going to take some time to show you another way to use autotune. So it's basically going to be for the producer or the engineer who doesn't have a supercomputer. You don't have the money to have a supercomputer. This way actually helps with your CPU power and your RAM speed. So I'm going to actually show you a really good way to incorporate autotune without hurting your CPU power. So let's check it out. This is the track Nobody by Alicia Moore and myself that we are gearing up to release October the 25th. I just want to kind of break down the use of autotune to embed autotune in the actual wave file. Take a look, take a listen. I'm going to play the hook of the chorus of the song. I love it. 'Cause we ain't gonna tell nobody. Yeah. We ain't gonna tell nobody. Yeah. We ain't gonna tell nobody. Yeah. We ain't gonna tell nobody. Just between you and me. You hit my phone. My girl, what's happening? One look at you. Alright, so that was the chorus and a little bit of the verse. But just if you notice the CPU power, it barely moved. And that's what you really want to see. It barely moves. So with the computer that I'm using, I'm not using a supercomputer. I'm just simply using a MacBook laptop. Using a MacBook laptop, and I have 16 gigs of RAM. This is being recorded. It's not being recorded on my internal storage. It's actually being recorded on an external hard drive. All right, a solid state external hard drive, which is beautiful. I love it. But in saying that, the CPU is barely moving. And one of the things that does affect the CPU is your plugins. Again, autotune is a very heavy plugin because it works in real time.
So as the song is playing, as the vocal is playing or being played, AutoTune is correcting right then and there. And that's why it's so heavy on power. First of all, I am using Logic 9. This can also be translated to any other program that you're using. So if you're using Logic 10, if you're using Pro Tools, you can use the same method that I'm using on Logic 9. Different way you can get this to work using AutoTune is by using an auxiliary track. All right, so the way you're going to set this up, you're going to first create an auxiliary track. So usually with an auxiliary track, it is associated with a bus. All right, so for this example, the auxiliary track is associated with bus 5. Usually with the bus is going to be on the input, but you're going to switch that. So first you're going to, so let's go back. You're going to create the auxiliary track, which is created. All right, then you're going to change your input, which is right here, your input to whatever input that you're using. So for my example, on my interface, my mic is plugged into input number 3 on my interface, which is what's selected. All right, and then on your output, you're going to then select your bus or choose the bus that you want. So I chose bus 5. All right, and after you choose bus 5, that's when you can go ahead, slide over to the track that you're going to record to, which is the track highlighted in green. All right, this example usually on your tracks is going to be associated with the input that you have selected for your mic, which would have been input 3, but instead, because input 3 is going through the auxiliary track, you're going to select your input for the track to be bus number 5. So your output on the auxiliary is bus number 5. Your input for your regular track is bus number 5. And then your output can be whatever you want it to be. Your stereo track, stereo output, or in my case, I chose another bus because I want to make edits or edits to the WAV file as I'm mixing. Okay, that way it's going back to another bus to be mixed. Bus number 12, that's highlighted right here, and then you're going that I just highlighted, and then the output is going to be the stereo out for everybody to hear. All right, and as you can see, this is the group chain for my compressions, my EQs, and so on and so on. Auxiliary track, once you have created it, set your input and your output to the regular track that you're going to record into. Then you're going to select the AutoTune, and then you're going to make your adjustments. So the key things here that you only want to really mess with is going to be the key, the scale, the retune speed, and the tracking. All right, key, scale, retune speed, tracking. All right, right now it's active. I'm not talking through it because that's why you can't hear the actual correction. I'm actually talking through another track right now, but you can see that it's live, and you see that it is auto correcting live. So as I talk, it's trying to correct my voice to a pitch. So that's why this plugin is so powerful, because if you have 100 tracks and you put this plugin on each tracks, that's 100 plugins being ran at the same time, auto correcting at the same time, live. So that's why it's better to have it embedded in the WAV file, so that when the waves are playing, the AutoTune is inactive, is not running, because it has nothing to correct at this point. All right, so let's go through the key elements here. So the first thing, and this is where music theory may come into play here. You do need to know the root note or the key of the song, which in this case is going to be E flat. You do have trouble if you may not know or may not have a keyboard in your presence, or you don't have perfect pitch, which means when you hear a note, you know what note that is. If you don't have that capability, all you have to do is just sing sing the root note.
Cause we ain't gonna tell nobody.
So the root note is E flat. All right. So once you set that E flat, then you want to choose a scale. In this case, I just manually went through the scale of E flat and chose the keys that I want to be saying in that scale. I chose that instead of just choosing minor. I'm not sure why I did that, but I just felt like doing it, and that's what I did. All right, but you can make it life easier on yourself if you're not familiar with music theory, and just choose major. You just choose E flat major, and it just set those notes. You can choose E flat minor, it will set those notes, and you can go down the list for any genre that you are singing. But in my case, I would have selected E flat major, and those are the only notes that is going to auto correct my pitch to. So was saying that this is where you can choose your retune speed. So this is where kind of that T-Pain or robot effect comes from. You set it to 0. That means it's going to give you that robot effect, that T-Pain effect. That good retune speed for me is 20. That I think that sounds perfect. You're a better singer, and you know how to really sing, but you don't necessarily need that much. I would recommend going between 60 and 50. That way it will tune your pitch, but it's not going to give you you're not going to be able to tell that it's correcting to the natural ear. And then your tracking, this is where you can make the auto tune or the retuning more relaxed or more choosy. All right, so it gives you I kind of equate it to more speed. You can either have it more relaxed, where it will retune more slowly still, or more choosy, which will make it more still pretty fast, snappy retuning. So there you go. So everything else I would just leave alone. The main things, again, you want to use is the key, scale, retune speed, and tracking.
Please subscribe, follow me, leave a comment, tell me what you think about AutoTune, and tell me why. If you don't like it, tell me why, and let's talk. But this is your boy Aaron, and I'm signing out.
It's Mr. Make You Fall in Love.